Today, I'm setting up my reading journal for March. So all the footage you're going to see, it's pretty much me doing that. I don't do much about prepping for the next month, but I always have a bit of a cover page. I always need some space where I can put the books I read that month. Some of the things I'm going to talk about in this video, my February reads, my kind of TBR for March, and also the only new release I have for March, what I read in February. The first thing I finished in February was Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. I love this book. It was very harsh. At the same time, it was completely different from what I thought it was going to be. I honestly thought we were going to have more casualties, thankfully not. Though I knew one that was going to happen. I didn't spoil myself. I just knew it ever since I read Empire of Storms. And it still hurt. And it hurt bad. And I just don't get it. But we're just going to move on. And the second one, I did not see that one coming. And that one was very painful. But yeah, I love to see everyone at the end happy and finally get home. I was very surprised that Aiden and Lysandra fix things because I was sure that that was done. I love everyone. I would love to see if Man and Dorian got to do their thing. I think it was an amazing ending for the series. And I'm just very happy that I finally finished the whole series, even though I've been kind of itching to reread the series. And the main thing is because I read the first 4 a couple of years ago. And yeah, some of the things that are mentioned. Well, in Tower of Dawn and Kingdom of Ash, I was like, that was so long ago, I don't remember. So yeah, that was the first thing I finished in February. Then I read The Last Fight Hunter, which I can't believe I got an ARC. This book was one of my anticipated releases of the year. I was shocked when I was approved for an ARC. This is the story about a demon hunter called X. So at the beginning of the book, he's hunting demons as his profession. People pay them to hunt the demons. So he needs to get his quota for the annual hunters party, or I don't remember what it's called. And he's not getting there. So yeah, he's in a bit of a trouble. One day he meets a woman and she asks him to escort her to see a witch. And in exchange, she will pay him for it. That's the deal. I thought it was going to be kind of the whole plot, but that happens very early in the book. And then you start to realize why they need to stick together. So it was an amazing book. I think the magic system was amazing. And that was mainly, for me at least, because of the lore. It has so much lore that it actually feels very real and possible. I haven't realized that until I read this book. But most of the time, magic systems feel a bit of like a fairy tale. That's not a bad thing, but this felt very different. And I honestly don't think I have read anything like that before, which was very refreshing. There is romance as well, and that was what got me at the beginning interested in this book. This book is actually in my 5-star predictions. I didn't give it 5 stars. I gave it 4 stars. It was more of a 4.5. I just got a little picky at the end. I was like, if this would have happened, the book would have been perfect. Now, I don't know if the things that I mentioned did or did not happen in the end, because it was said in the arc that you don't know if something did or did not made it into the final book. So I think it's a great story. So I highly recommend this book. I even want to get a physical copy of this book and see what actually got into the end, into the story. But yeah, what I read was fantastic. Then I read Spy Family Volume 8. This volume was completely different. It was heavily focused on Yor. I was going to say, I've never seen her in that kind of role. But then I remember she has protected Anya since the beginning. So in this volume, she needs to protect someone. That was completely different from what I've seen her do as Thorn Princess. And even she had a bit of this inner monologue. Why am I doing this? Which I've never seen before in the manga. So that was very interesting. Of course, it is funny. That's why I love this manga. On the other side, we see Lloyd and Anya, and they're just so cute together. And Lloyd is trying to be like a cool dad, but at the same time to make this mission work. This called mission of going on vacations, which is very funny to me. But I love to see how they try to protect their family. They don't even realize that they just can't lose each other, but I just love it. I gave it 5 stars as always. Then I started to read, I think I started to read that way before, but I started to read House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. That was also for my March TBR. I actually finished the book last night and I gave it 3 stars. I don't think I ever had rated a Sarah J. Maas book this low. And don't get me wrong, 3 stars it was a good story. I liked it. But the thing is that I love almost every single character. Almost. The problem comes with Bryce and Hunt. I don't like them. I think she has a horrible attitude. She's probably one of the worst characters I've read in Sarah J. Maas book. I don't like her. Every time that I, for some reason, find something to redeem her, and it's like, oh my gosh, she's starting to think like functional adult. And then she does something that I'm like, oh why. There were several things she did in this book that I do not like. And it's not only that I wouldn't do that. It's like she's supposed to be the hero. For me, heroes don't do that. It's a whole thing. She tricks and misleads people. Sometimes I feel like she doesn't have boundaries. I don't know. I couldn't say that I enjoyed the whole book. I enjoyed almost everyone else's point of view because, yeah, I just like them. They feel more real to me. And my quarrel with Hunt is actually not that bad as with her. I just feel that he's the most boring male I've ever encountered in a Sarah J. Maas book, or the most boring love interest I've found in a Sarah J. Maas book. He has zero charisma. They're like made for each other, and I really don't care. I don't care to the point where I remember last night I was listening to the audiobook and there's one chapter before everything goes to hell. Well, actually, it kind of didn't. I felt like the end, they defeating the asteroid was too easy. I thought that the battle with Pollux, because I thought he was going to be one of the dirtiest battle they were going to have. A part of me is very glad that it was just all over. But another part of me is like, that was too easy. Oh yeah, I was going to say, I was listening to the audiobook. There was just a chapter from Bryce's perspective. And things started to get a bit spicy with her and Hunt. And I was like, ew. I really don't want to know these things about them. Well, actually, I don't want to know a lot of things about them. If you want to know all of my thoughts about this book, I do have a vlog coming about it. I go in extent of everything that I felt while reading this book. So if you're interested in that, just check that one out. Now I'm going to talk about my March TBR. I stopped doing TBRs because I felt like kind of like I was lying. I said that I was going to read something and I never did. So yeah, I stopped doing that. But weirdly enough, since December from last year, I've been kind of having a TBR in my mind and I've been sticking with it. Maybe something is changing. I don't know. So I'm very confident that I'm going to read the things I'm going to tell you about. So the first was House of Flame and Shadow. Like I said, I actually already finished that one. So that's done. Then I have Party Favors by Saraya Wilson. I have read other things by her. While sometimes I feel like things get a bit insta-love, I do enjoy her writing a lot. This is actually a short novella and it's an arc. I got it through NetGalley and it's about this young woman and she wants to be a party organizer. But at the beginning of the story, she's just an assistant to an actual organizer. She actually does all the job, but he takes the credit. And she's very smitten with him and she doesn't really have a reason for it. He has a girlfriend and he clearly doesn't see her that way. I was going to say delusional, but let's go with the hopeful. And she thinks that his wins are her wins because they're a team and whatnot. They're not a team. He just takes advantage of her. Now she has the chance to actually change her status of assistant to an actual planner. She's trying to organize this party for a 16-year-old. It is actually based on a country that she loves, the royal family. Now she needs to learn everything about the country because she needs to plan this party. And one day she meets someone who's actually from there and he's gonna help her to actually know about this place. I think it's gonna be fantastic. The guy, he already seemed like a very good guy and he's clearly a gentleman. I think it's going to be even better than other things that I have read from her because while they felt something when they met, it didn't fall into love. And the last thing I can promise you I'm gonna read, it's for the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. Right now, I need a book that has dual point of view. I was doing some research and I found out that Strange a Dreamer is a dual point of view. So I started to read that book a couple of years ago. Well, I have been intimidated by that book for a long time. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I just put it down and never picked it up. I think now's my time and I'm actually very excited about it. So I feel like I want to finish Party Favor so I can finally read this book. So that's a really good sign. That's all I have in my mind so far. I do need a different book for the This Adventure. I need a book that is not the first or the last in the series. So I have a couple of ideas, maybe going back to my TBR for this year, because I have read only one thing from that list. It could be The Mummy Returns or Vision Silver, which I'm very excited about that one too, or Hothead. I was leaning towards Hothead because I haven't read much contemporary this year. While I've been enjoying everything that I've been reading, I think it's good to mix here and there. So yeah, those are my possibilities. I want to talk about the new releases I have for this month. And actually, I only have one for this month. That is The Love Remedy. And this one comes out the 19th, if I'm not mistaken. It is about an apothecary, which you already want me there. This woman has her apothecary and she's really good at what she does and she's creating new stuff. One day she thinks that one of her competitors has done something to her recipe. So she hires a private investigator to see what happened. Of course, it had romance. So at some point, things are going to bloom. But it sounds so interesting to me. As far as I understand, the things are just going to explode because this kind of tiny thing of her recipe, maybe not being in good hands, I think is going to start a whole new journey for both of them. I think he's a single parent, which not mad about that. At some point, the synopsis says that maybe they'll learn that the only way to face the future is together. So that's all I have for my reads. Going back to my reading journal, I don't take things too seriously. It kind of has become my place of just playing with things. But yeah, overall, I like the way it ended up. So that was all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you're planning to read this month, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.